There's where the paths converge. Is that the path to the presidency that I've been searching for? Let's go see where it leads. Oh, how beautiful. The bluebell flowers are in bloom. Do you know that sometimes they're called fairy thimbles, and they're the sign of humility and gratitude? That must be a great sign. I'm so happy to be back on the campaign trail and not lost in the woods. My peers seem to be honoring you. Look how happy they are to see you. It looks like you passed the awareness test. Then poof, I awakened and the dream was over. At first I was really disappointed, but then I realized that all I had learned in the past year, and especially in this dream, that I had to share with everyone, especially young people. I have a millennial daughter, just like you, and I'm very concerned about her future and the future of our country. I'm not a politician, I'm not a journalist or a broadcaster, but we're at a very critical juncture in our history, and we have to make the right choices about this election. When I had this dream, I was pretty surprised because I dreamt of Hillary Clinton. I don't usually dream of celebrities or people in the news. And I also believe that we're all connected. And I usually have dreams when I have a connection with people. So I'd like to tell you, I'm going to tell you how I first heard her name. It was many years ago when Bill Clinton was running for president. And I had a girlfriend who lived in, I think it was Little Rock. I know she lived in Arkansas. And I called her on the phone and I said, who is Bill Clinton? And then she told me all about him because he'd been the governor and she lived there for years. And then she said to me something that has stuck with me forever. She said his wife, Hillary Clinton, and that was the first time I heard her name, is a force to be reckoned with. And I called her up and I said, what do you mean? She said, she's formidable. She's a very special woman. And I thought, wow, okay. But that was the end of it. And then, that was many, many years ago. Well, when Hillary ran for president in 2008, my father-in-law told me a story that just blew me away. My father-in-law, he's now 83, I think, and I'm not that much younger because I married a younger man. My father-in-law lived right next door to Hillary Clinton in Park Ridge, Illinois, growing up. His sister, Cecilia, was a babysitter for Hillary. His brother, I think he said his brother's name was Rick. Rick was a close buddy of Hillary's brother because my father-in-law was 20 years older than his younger brother. Well, his mom, Joe Meyer is my father-in-law. His mom died, I think in the late 60s. I don't remember the day exactly. And the Rodhams, who were their neighbors next door, absolutely were just wonderful to Joe's dad. They'd come over and, visit with him. Well, this is the part that I was so impressed with. When Hillary and Bill would come to town, which they did often because they came to visit her parents, this is in around the middle of 70s, when he was governor, Hillary would go by herself next door and visit with Joe's dad. His name was Max. And Joe always, he told me this in 2008. He said he's never forgotten that. Here was a first lady of another state coming, and all she wanted to do was make an old man happy. That stuck with me because she is a wonderful person. And since I've learned that about her, and actually I didn't vote for her, I'm actually kind of ashamed of it, but I voted for President Obama. Not that I thought she wasn't qualified. It's just that his energy at the time. And it was a very good move. I think he's been a wonderful president. But now I have studied Hillary. I've studied her because after President Obama, after he was elected, only like maybe a week or a few weeks after he was elected, and he had been competing with her for 2 years, he asked her to be Secretary of State. And that to me was amazing. And that's when I started really paying attention to Hillary, was 8 years ago. And so now, when I had the dream, I was just actually thrilled to learn so much about her, not only in the studying I've done, but in my dream. The common assessment of people who've worked with Hillary and a multitude of friends say this: she is brilliant, warm, funny, she inspires loyalty, gets things done, and is a master policy strategist. Her real strengths are her penetrating insight, her intellect, powerful perseverance, and her industriousness. Did you know that Hillary goes on listening tours? She goes all over the state and listens to her constituents, what their concerns are and what the issues are. Then she comes back and tries to make policy out of it to help people. It seems to me that that's a very critical thing in the work of a president. Hillary Clinton has gotten a really bad rap for 25 years. It's instinctual GOP hatred, and I'm not exaggerating. Some of you millennials weren't even born yet. They have cast her as hopelessly corrupt, an overconfident bitch, fundamentally dishonest. How dare she venture out and have her own career? All of this ugliness because she's a woman. It is hard to believe, but they have a lot of anger in their hearts. And they have the same disdain for President Obama, but for a different reason, but because he's black. Earlier this year, The Atlantic wrote about Bill and Hillary Clinton, that no other political figures in American history have spawned the creation of a permanent multi-million-dollar cottage industry devoted to attacking them. But Hillary has always gotten the worst of it. Here is a list of just a few of the pseudo-scandals she supposedly was accused of as a main player. Travelgate, looting the White House on her way out, selling secrets to China, personally responsible for 4 Americans killed in Benghazi, endangered the safety and security of the U.S. by way of her personal email account. The press is obsessed with controversy, and for years they have continued to sensationalize these quasi-scandals. They are uninterested in substance. The case against Hillary is sexism. The right-wing part of the GOP is anti-woman. Socially and culturally, there are so many changes. I believe that they're scared. They have resorted to name-calling, and this started years ago. They've called her a nag, a bitch, and in 2008, there were signs in people's yards, iron my shirts, life's a bitch, don't vote for one. Tucker Carlson said, there's something about her that feels castrating. They have images of her like with eating men, like a man-eater. Bill O'Reilly called her evil. Sean Hannity called her laugh, frightening. And Rush Limbaugh said something that just, I couldn't even believe. Will America want to watch a woman age on a daily basis? Misogyny is a part of their ideology. I hate to say this, but it feels like deep in their soul, they have a real prejudice against women. And on Fox News, that's where it started, actually. In 2008, And then after that, the mainstream media picked up on all of these sound bites, these hateful, ugly things that they say about Hillary, and it's been spreading like wildfire for years. Hillary Clinton has been putting up with these horrible jabs for so many years. You know, a lot of people would die. They literally would. But she is courageous. And that's one of the attributes that I feel help her be the perfect candidate for a presidency is her courage. She has wisdom. She has balance. She has the nurturing part, like she lives the feminine. She has enough assertiveness. She lives the masculine part. So there's a beautiful balance of human being. And she's brilliant. And she cares about all of us from her heart. All of us, men and women alike. I feel that we should be bowing to her. She's a rare jewel that needs to be appreciated and loved and cared for. And I'm just praying that she becomes our president. Do you remember in my dream how my grandmother cherished the vote and that it was worth gold? Well, it is really important that each of us vote from our heart, vote our conscience. This election is the most important we've ever had. There is no comparison to the two people running for office. Hillary's energy is so beautiful and loving and caring compared to her opponents. Her opponent's energy is not that balanced at all. I'm really hoping that you'll go to the polls and take a look at everyone who's running. Look at all the people on the down ballot. You know, hopefully it's Democratic. Pay attention to who's running in for your local offices and come from your heart. And would you do me a favor, please? This is for me, and then it's for Hillary. So would you share this video with as many people as you possibly can so that we can all make very good choices on November 8th?